Hi folks, this is Alcatraz Day and it's been a while since I took up questions on service selection board, and I have a lot of questions unattended which I have not been able to write about on my blog or on Quora. So let's begin with questions. I have around 20-25 questions which I will try to answer honestly and clear all your doubts. Okay, what is the actual quality required for getting recommended in SSB? A lot of people think it's OLQ, it's officer like qualities. Yes, there are officer like qualities. But one thing that everyone needs to understand very clearly before going to an SSB is the fact that the officer like qualities are developed during the training and not the SSB. So, what they are primarily looking in you are traces of it. Because obviously you don't know how the environment of an officer works, so you can't portray yourself in the same manner. So the quality which I tell it to everyone, the main utmost quality that is required is being truthful, having integrity, and most importantly staying calm under pressure. Every single activity that you see in the SSB, be it the psychological test, which is time bound, the GTO, where GTO is time conditionally putting pressure on you, or the interviewing officer, it's all about handling pressure. So when you're put under pressure, there are chances that you might lie or you might lose your calm. This is exactly where they're trying to look at your single most trait: being truthful under pressure, being calm under pressure. So that's one quality. The OLQs are there in almost everyone, but those OLQs don't come up under pressure. So that's one thing. How long did your conference go in SSB? My conference was very short. It was not more than 10 or 15, not even 10 minutes. It was very brief. They just asked my name and asked me to sing a song which I sang. How do I keep myself optimistic in times when I feel that my dream of joining the Indian Army is going to be shattered because of not clearing SSB? If you have reached a stage where you think you cannot get recommended, I will suggest that you don't even try. Because unless and until you're motivated and passionate enough to be in the forces and to wear the uniform and crack the SSB, there's no way you're gonna. It's not an exam which you might clear. It's more than that. It's the reason it's a 1 week procedure. They're gonna check you inside out. You might perform good on one day, but the next day if you don't have motivation, you're gonna falter. The next question is, how do I prepare for SSB on a daily basis? I've told this a million times before also. Stick to 4 activities. First is start being physical, sweat it out, run, swim, take up a sport. That's very important. Second, start reading newspapers, especially editorials and good magazines such as Competition, Success, and Man of the Mind. All these, which will help you in IAS and SSC and CGL exams as well. Third, get out of your comfort zone. Start talking to people whom you might not otherwise talk to. Start getting yourself under pressure. Try to imagine yourself in situations which you fear and which you otherwise would not even dare to enter. That's the third activity. Fourth and most important activity is, you need not take up a do or die situation. You need not think if I don't get recommended in SSP, that's it, that's the end of life. Have a backup. That way you will perform better. It's a very important thing which many people don't understand. Don't be so desperate and passionate. A good officer will always have a backup. A good human being who's smart and will always have a backup. You'll not go in there with a do and die attitude. What kind of candidates are rejected in SSB? When you see the rate is almost 85 to 90, 95% sometimes of the candidates are rejected. You start to wonder what are the causes. What happens is there are 3 stages: psychology, your thinking; GTO, your actions; and interview, what you say. Now, if these 3 things are not in sync, 95% of the chances you will get rejected. Now, let me give you an example. Given this to many candidates who keep coming to me for guidance. In psychology, it comes up because of what you've written, that you're a team leader, you're a team player, and in GTO you're not a team player. You get under stress and you shout out one of your team members, and you're not cooperative. But again in IO, in the interview, your answer, whatever you say to the interviewing officer, you're like, I'm very close to my friends, I help them out, I always like to hang out in a gang. So it's very contradicting. So when they sit in the conference and they discuss with each other, the main point that will come out is he's saying that he is, he's writing that he is, but he's not doing it on papers. This is one of the qualities. So as I said, the very first point, if you're being truthful across, you're gonna sail through. Anywhere you falter, where in whatever you've written or whatever you say or whatever you do does not match with the other two things, you're done. Has anyone cried during SSB interviews? I have seen a lot of candidates crying. I've seen, especially girls, and even a few guys who come out crying after the interview. It's just that that's the job of the interview officer. He has to literally, the roast you is to bring you under pressure. He has to, get to the darkest corners of your mind and, make you uncomfortable. That's his job. I'm not saying crying is a bad thing, but, it sort of gives you an impression that maybe he's emotionally weak. Is there any person who has been recommended on his 5th or 6th attempt in SSB? I know people who have been recommended in 9th, 10th. I know a guy who was recommended in 16th attempt. As I said, there was one question before also. Should I give up? If I feel that I cannot. If you feel that you cannot, then you should. But if you feel that is where you belong and you can, then you should not stop. Okay, what's the key to getting screened in SSB? Okay, I'll tell you 2 tricks. Not many people know this. First, you're aware it has to be damn perfect. Try scoring 10 out of 10. Second, the moment you go in for PPDT, most of you won't get much time to interact with your group members. But if you do, like for even 5 minutes or 10 minutes, speak to them, tell them, see, all of us are here to get recommended, but let's not shout, and let's make an honest attempt to listen to everyone. This is very hard to put it in practice, because most of the batches, especially with the repeaters, it becomes a total chaos. It becomes a fish market. People start shouting the moment the last speaker has told. You can try this, or the main thing which matters is your story has to be point on, it has to be creative, and the way you speak it out when you're narrating it has to be really good. So what happens is they know that you're full of confidence when you're speaking. That's the first impression. Second, in case there's a story after which your group decides, you will get to speak, and you can modify the story a little bit here and there. That's quite slightly out of the box, but if you think about it, if you keep a calm mind there, it is possible. It's very hard to implicate, but if you just stick to it, you really can. Why was I not recommended in the SSB in spite of doing good in all GTO tasks, interviews, etc.? It's a myth. You will never know how you have fared. You might just think that you have done good. That's the problem. Many people, many guys and candidates tell me I did it so good, my GTO was good, my psych was good, my interview was good. But that's you telling about yourself. It's like someone saying, in the board exam I will score 95, but he ends up scoring 80. That's you telling about yourself. What was the actual assessment? If you don't know, then you really can't, blame yourself or the board itself. The board has been there, the service selection board has been there for years and years together, and has turned out good officers, selected good officers. So you really can't blame it. Yes, 1 or 2 discrepancies, 1 or 2 off cases will be there, but you are getting so many chances to eventually get it. If you're good enough, you will. Okay. How did you prepare for SSB? I didn't prepare much because it was my first time. It was just after my 12th standard. Just before SSB, I on the internet, some book I got. Even my uncle was in the Air Force. I just sat with him and understood what happens inside. Just understanding the procedure step by step is what I did. I went in there with a calm mind. It was I don't know. Otherwise, usually I'm not, but I was really passionate about it, and it just all happened because I did not lie. Even in the interviews, there were some questions which were very emotional, and I answered it with utmost ease. So once you start speaking the truth, there's no more pressure on you. So that's also one key. If you speak the truth, you don't have to think much and say. And obviously, I was always inclined towards studying the officer. I was always studying about those trains, those different steels, the aircrafts and all. That was always there from my 7th, 8th standard, I think. So that also immensely helped. What is the selection percentage in SSB from total all appearing students? There's not any particular percentage. In a batch of 80 might probably sometimes even one might get selected, not even one. When a batch of 100 or 110, 25, 30 people might get selected. There's no fixed percentage. It varies. The SSB does not compromise on the basic qualities that officers needs. Why is the SSB selection procedure biased toward army officers' children? It's not biased. People have this misconception that army officer children do get in easily. Not everyone does. If you have observe and keep a track of the records, yes, probably 1%, 2%, 3% they will get the favor because they have seen the life in the armed forces. But that 2-3% won't matter much in all. Unless you're really able enough, you will not get recommended. So if you see that if 100 people, from the 100 children from the army officers come in, not everyone gets recommended. They have the same percentage. It's just that children of army officers are more inclined to join the army, so their numbers are more, probably. That's it. Is it better to do a medical test before attempting the SSB? It completely depends on you, but I would tell you take everything step by step. Focus on what's important first. Focus on the next procedure, and then after that, what you can probably do is take a simple medical test before you even give the written exam or after the written exam, just to know what kind of ailments, if you have any, you're suffering from. Only army guys can do this. Air Force medicals are totally different, and it cannot be done outside. What did you do after getting confidence screen out from the SSB? Never been confidence down, so I don't know. Okay, Bhopal SSB, there's a huge myth that it's the worst SSB possible and people don't get recommended from there. It's nothing like that. People do change, and the SSB center, probably only not so good candidates go there. Yes, it might be strict. Yes, maybe the selection rate might be less, but it's nothing like that. If you are still very good enough to get recommended or not getting recommended. Okay, now these questions I've taken, I want to iterate 2-3 good points that most of the SSB guys often they don't keep in mind. The very first is stop by-hearting answers. Your interview questions, your psychological tests, please don't by-heart. It is not going to help you at all. It has to be spontaneous. When I say spontaneous, it has to be what you actually think and what you actually feel. You by-heart it, and it is like showcasing a completely fake persona, and you will never get recommended. And even if you do, you're gonna suffer in the services. Second point I want to make is, as I said before, always have a backup. It's gonna help you perform better because there will be no stress on your mind, and it is a proven fact. Third and most important, many people take it as a career option, fine enough, to prepare for SSBs, and on the other hand, they start preparing for the exams also. Fine, it's absolutely fine. But the approach, the how you approach SSB and how you approach an exam is totally different. You just can't sit and study for like 14-15 hours a day and expect that you'll get recommended. It has to be a constant change in your personality, which takes over 6 months, 8 months, 12 months. Whatever activities I told, you have to keep repeating it day after day after day, until the time you feel confident. So in case even if you don't get recommended, you'll come out as a better person. And that's it. I mean, this point needs to be understood very carefully. And otherwise, you can always practice to write faster for the psychological test. That's something you can do. But please don't by-heart answers. It's not going to help you. It's never going to help you at all. I'm very active on Facebook, Instagram, Quora. You can leave comments here below on the YouTube channel as well. Whenever I get time, I make it a point to make such videos and clear all these doubts. I want all the worthy candidates to get selected. Wearing a uniform is a big thing. It's a pride that you cannot buy with money or anything else. And that's it. And share this video to people who are giving SSB. It might help them in a certain way. Even one point might certainly help them. And remember, be truthful, be calm under pressure. That's the only way. Cheers.